good for Chelsea today.
Yeah, interesting to hear him saying he missed that header in training yesterday and managed to do it the right thing today.
Well, it's nobody's watching in training. That's what it's for, to practice and hone your skills. So it was a relatively easy header as headers go. You know, the ball in was a great one, and when you're facing sort of square to the play like that, it's much easier to guide your header, and especially when you go back across the goal. So it was a lovely ball, fantastic header, and it set Chelsea on their way. They had a little bit more confidence after that, and definitely deserved the win. And we look at the goal again here. Cucurella really starts it with another one of his runs, deep runs. He really does those well, and then after that it's just a beautiful cross, beautiful finish. But could Hartman have done any better here, Gary?
Yeah, I think he's had a decision to make. We spoke about it. He ended up with two players and he decided to go with the one with Enzo Fernandez. I think Florentino, if he'd have tracked Fernandez, would have made his life easier. He didn't. Ultimately had a decision to make, but take nothing away from the ball. That is the quality, and that is what unlocked the game, that piece of quality.
You know, as a defender, you say he has a decision to make, but no matter where he goes, shouldn't he just almost concentrate on the flight of the ball? If he picks that flight of the ball up early, it doesn't matter it doesn't matter if he picks any of them up. He wins the header, but he gets affected by the run.
If you stop it here, so first of all, I'm angry with Florento, should I say, sorry, for not tracking. He's in a position there, he has a responsibility for me, seeing and marking Enzo to track. He doesn't. He stands still, lets Enzo run off the back of him. So straight away as a defender, I'm disappointed with that. But that's happened and I've got a decision to make then. So I have to try and read the flight of the ball and then clear it. But like I said, if he tracked that runner, which is his job, ultimately, it allows me to have the man behind it, and that's it. It's down to winning the header. But he didn't. Ultimately ended up with 2v1 on the back post. And the ball was so good. The ball was so good. Take nothing away, like I keep saying. It was a great piece of quality.
Yeah, speaking of great pieces of quality and good deliveries, let's talk about Mark Guiu, because it was his first Premier League goal involvement that led to the second goal, which ultimately wraps it all up. It was balanced at that point still. Anything could have happened at 1-0, and then Chelsea wrap it up late.
Yeah, he was so direct, so strong. The goal was incredible. This is quite late on in the game. Look at this for confidence, not only by the defence, but the goalkeeper, and then right the way through the team. Like two substitutions, Guiu and obviously Gusto there. Two substitutions contributed greatly to that goal, but that is strong and powerful and direct, and it's very good play. And eventually the goal scorer probably had the easiest job of the whole move, I would say. That first little bit in their own 6-yard box was extremely competent. 88 minutes, you're 1-0 up, and you're doing that in your own 6-yard box.
I was expecting Gusto to try and chest it back. Yeah. He almost made his job more difficult, but Sanchez was so calm and collected there, played out instead of just lumping the ball. The next minute it's in the back of the net. But do you know what? It was as well a great decision by Guiu. It's about making right decisions at the right times. He's took the player on, powerful running, he's in. Do you lash at a shot or do you have the teammate out, which he did? And that's game over.
Yeah, Chelsea's top goal scorer there, Enzo Fernandez, wrapping up the victory. Pedro Neto also now into 4 Premier League goals so far this season. We'll talk about the goal scorers because they get all the glory, Gary. What about the defence? 3
so clean they should.
3 clean sheets in a row now for Chelsea.
Yeah, they defended very well. After the first 20 minutes, I felt that the line was quite high. They got done early on with a few counter-attacks. They tidied that up, and after that, they was very solid. So yeah, like you said, 3 clean sheets. It's a feather in the cap for Chelsea because I look at the performances against the likes of Liverpool, against Tottenham. It's very easy to get yourself up and motivated for them games. The feather in the cap for Chelsea is the last few results, against Wolves, against Burnley after you've travelled international and all the rest of it, to go and get the results and get up the road. That's what you need to mount title challenges. And I think that's what they're doing quietly at the moment.
Yeah, as you mentioned, just 3 points behind the league leaders, moved above Manchester City. Now, of course, City and Arsenal still have to play, but it means that next Sunday is suddenly a top-of-the-table clash.
It is, yeah. All of a sudden, it's a very big one. It's always a big one. It's an Arsenal, Chelsea, they're big games, but that just makes it even more spicy. I mean, they're within touching distance as things stand. As we know, Arsenal play this weekend in a big game themselves, and that's not going to be easy in the North London derby. But that's always been a great game over the years.
And that's a reward, like you said, for having a 12:30 kickoff. You can just sit back and watch the results come in now, you know. It's
Provided it's job done. It was job done. But at 1-0, were Chelsea lucky to get away with this? I have a feeling you guys disagree, maybe still.
No, we agree
big
with the
talking
outcome.
points.
I think we agree with the outcome. I mean, we've seen in the Champions League, I think it was a game involving Aston Villa.
Tyron Mings.
That's right. And we've seen this being given as a penalty. Now, I believe the goalkeeper is taking this because watch the way he runs away. He's making another angle for the pass. There's no way he's running over. Look, and he's almost stopped now still and thinking, wow, what's happened? I think he's taken it as if it's a goal kick. However, in saying that, obviously the defence aren't, and the defender puts his hand on the ball. Now, if I'm a referee, I need to be absolutely sure. And if I was in that position, I would have probably let it go myself. So I think you think that something else was going on with the keeper, maybe. But we both agree it probably should have been let go.
I think that's the key thing. I think the referee has to be 100% sure, and you can interpret this in two different ways. You can interpret it in the way that Michael said, or for example, if you look at it the way of Sanchez has gone to Chalobah, right, you spot the goal kick, I'm going to make an angle here. You can look at it that way. If that's the case, there's nothing wrong with it. If it isn't the case, there's a hell of a lot wrong with it, and the consequence is huge. So you have to be 100% sure as a referee to give that decision. I think it was the right outcome, but like we said before, it was very, very risky. Very risky.
Yeah, you won't want to be doing that every week. You'll get one or two given against you, but I think the referee probably erred on the side of caution, and rightly so, I thought.
Okay, so Chelsea got away with that one. There was no penalty, as you both agree with the outcome. Let's look at the week for Chelsea, though, because we've already touched on it and kind of mentioned that there is a big week to come, but this is what they face. Barcelona in the Champions League at Stamford Bridge, and then Arsenal in the Premier League. Also at Stamford Bridge. You know all about those big Champions League nights at Stamford Bridge?
What a time to be a Chelsea player. With them two games, they're the games that you miss when you retire. You look at that now and you've got Barcelona at home and Arsenal at home, two amazing games. Like we said earlier, it worked in their favour today. They managed to rest a few players. It worked out well. You didn't need to get Caicedo off the bench, you know, Fofana's at home resting up. So it worked in their favour, and two huge games now, but two games to look forward to, Barcelona and Arsenal at home. The Bridge will be rocking for them two games, I'm sure.
And so congratulations. What did you make of your team's performance today?
I really like this kind of win because it's tough. It's tough after the international break, 12 o'clock in the morning, Burnley away. It's always a tricky game, and the way we compete, the way we won the game, you know, clean sheet, so very happy.
Burnley had a few chances before you opened the scoring. What was the key to Neto's goal that unlocked their defence?
I think personally to come here and don't concede nothing, from my point of view, it's very difficult for the type of pitch, type of stadium. So it's normal to concede something, but I think overall they had only one real chance. That has been the second half, the one that they had. Then during the game, I don't think they had any big chances, and we score 2 goals, we create different chances.
Andre Santos was player of the match today. You've got a lot of competition in that midfield, but what did you like the most about his performance today?
Be ready. Andre is doing very good. Today was a tough game. Again, he's not playing always. When we use him, he's doing well. But today, I think him was good. Jamie was very good also. That for them is not easy when they don't used to play a lot.
You seem to lose a little bit of momentum in the second half. You talked about the best chance of the game that they had in that period. Why do you think that was?
Because there is another team that also they want to play and score. It's normal. It's the dynamic of the game. Again, to think that you are not going to concede chances, for me it's very difficult. You have to deal with that. You have to learn how to avoid, or in case happen, how to defend better.
There's always a bit of a nervous wait when Reece James comes off. Everyone's worried if he's picked up an injury, but he seemed to be smiling when he came back out to the benches. Was that a planned substitution all along?
Yeah, we planned 45 minutes for him.
This week, couple of big games coming up at Stamford Bridge with Barcelona and Arsenal. How important was it to get the week off to a good start with a win today?
Very important to maintain, keep the momentum from before the international break. And now we recover energy and we go again Tuesday.
Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we just saw Reece James walking off actually with a big smile, giving a big thumbs up to the team here. So we can confirm that he is absolutely fine. Joe, you are not just the best pundit in the world, wasn't that the thing?
Best pundit in history.
Best pundit in history. All man in TV, because now you're joining us down here.
Yeah, I know,
It's been quite a day for you, hasn't it?
Yes.
I'm going to pick up on something that you said up there. You said Chelsea are title contenders.
I said they're creeping back into
it. Well, Tosin said that they are looking at winning the title.
I liked it from the big man.
Yeah.
How far do you think they're going to take it? This season, next season? What is the kind of the parameters
I said at the start of the season, I said next season is the season where I think the pressure will be on them as a group to do it. I think this season they need to be closer than what they was last year, and I think that is a nice step. I think that works well. You look at all the improvements. Santos now, who's coming in, so you're thinking, right, great, Lavia don't play, we've got Santos, Cole Palmer don't play, Pedro's playing so well in the number 10, the young lad Mark Gui come on and was outstanding up front. So there's so many options now, and it's all sort of like we said before the game, Jolien, this is actually the most difficult mentally at these 3 games. Barcelona and Arsenal, don't worry about. These young lads will turn up and they'll be ready. This was the one. You can come here and they didn't start well, and then to score the goal, stay in the game. So there's a lot of ticks in the box at Chelsea at the moment.
Yeah, I agree. Whether it's this season or next season, I definitely have to believe at the start of the season and make everyone believe that they're contenders. I think they in-house may believe it. I don't think they considered it yet from the outer circle. But yeah, I think the next step for me is probably they separate Arsenal and City. I think they finished above one of the teams. It's a bit ambitious to go and finish above 2 of them in one go. So once they've done that, then they're considered real title contenders for me.
Sometimes it's a real revolving door of talent, isn't it, for this Chelsea side? Players in, players out all the time. But they've got this group together now. Is it really important for the ownership to sort of keep this core of players so that they can all build together? We've seen them with success in the Conference League. We've seen them win the Club World Cup. Tosin said, that really gave them belief, beating the Champions League winners as well. They've all it's all, what it's like when you win. You've got to you do it as a collective. And when you do it as a collective, it builds belief, it builds momentum, it builds trust. How important is that for you?
I'll tell you what Chelsea have done. They've done really well. So a lot of these players that they've brought in are on long contracts now. Because what usually happens, you sign a player on a 4-year deal. 2 years into the deal, their stock rises and they want to go on the next level. They've agreed these long-term contracts. I think it's very difficult for Chelsea. The owners are in charge of who comes in and who don't come in. So it's really dependent on them. I don't think they'll be sitting there where they're in a situation where there's a player running out his contract that they really want, because then you have to sell and you might have to cash in and jiggle things around. So I think from that side, from buying and selling players, they're in a strong position, so they can choose what they want to do. So that's the benefit of having them long-term contracts. There's no one knocking down your door and making you having to sell.
Same things in regards to get results. It's going to be difficult. Tos?
We're joined by a guest, Tosin.
Are you good?
Yeah, man, how are you?
Right.
These two know each other really well. Tell us why you know each other so well.
Tos, I've known him obviously from Manchester City Academy, but when he was first venturing into the first team on loan, I worked with him for a couple of seasons, and he's now matured into the player I didn't have no doubt in him doing.
Did you always see it, a Premier League level player?
Definitely. He was always that. It was just finding a way to develop. He was still young, and again, a lot of players in the academies nowadays develop different ways to when you get into a first team. It's totally different football. Edit Tos said he found that out, and he's there's no doubts, and I have no doubts he'd be at this level.
Are you blushing, Tosin?
yeah. Obviously, I know Jolien very well. He helped me a lot in my younger ages, and credit to him as well for helping me get to this stage in my career.
And look at the stage that you're at, and Chelsea are in a fantastic place at the moment. What did you make today of the result, of course, which is really important, but the performance as well?
Yeah, amazing result. 12:30 at Burnley away, straight after international break. It's a very tough place to come. You can see when other teams come against Burnley, it's never easy. And I feel like we had a great performance today.
Did the manager kind of drum that point into you that this is going to be the one where you're going to have to do all the dirty work? You just have to get it done. You've got glamorous ties coming up. This is the one where you have to work really hard.
Yeah, it's the same 3 points. We said before the game, it's the same 3 points that we won against Liverpool, that we won against Tottenham. It's the exact same 3 points. We've got to give the same attitude, the same intensity, and come here and get the win.
Up to second now in the Premier League table. How high are you looking?
as high as possible. That's what we're going for this season. We're doing well. We've got a long season to come, so we just keep going.
Yeah, 3 clean sheets in a row now as well. 3 Premier League wins as well on the bounce. That's such a great position to be in terms of your consistency when there was probably a bit more of a mixed bag of results at the start of the season.
Yeah, clean sheets are very important for us. It's very rare that we don't score in a football game, so we just try to make sure we do our job at the back. But it doesn't start with us; it starts with the number 9. Once we know we don't concede, we have a great chance of winning our games.
There's a lot of changes in Chelsea, isn't there? With the manager having to kind of muddle through with the squad that you've got because of the competitions that you're in. What's that like to be in a squad like that can change at all times?
It's great. It's great. We have a lot of competition for all the spots in the team, and you can see that the manager can pick any starting 11, and it will be of a high standard. We've got a great squad, and that's what we do.
Yes, Tosh, you've had some muddy stances there. When do you start believing you are title contenders? Because if you win next week, that's close. 1 point behind Arsenal? You believe it? Oh, that's good.
We believe it. We've come into this season with a lot of confidence. Obviously, on the back of our success in the Club World Cup, we know that this club deserves to be fighting for the highest achievements, and that's what we're going for.
And was that off the back of the Club World Cup, or was that always the goal, to be title contenders?
It's always the goal, but I think the Club World Cup, it really put a stand on it. That we played against PSG, Champions League winners, so we got that confidence as a young group to know that next step is where we can take it, and Premier League is that. Yeah.
I've got to ask you about Andre Santos today and the performance he put in. He got the player of the match performance. He was literally grinning from ear to ear like a kid in a sweet shop. He was so delighted because this is someone who doesn't get that many opportunities. I believe it's 3 Premier League starts now. When you've got Moises Caicedo there, he's not going to get that many opportunities. How pleased are you for him, and how happy? What did you make of his performance?
He was all over the pitch today. He was amazing, and to see him get man of the match is great. The way he works every day is just amazing. He's happy to be here. Never has a frown on his face if he's not on the pitch. He's just always there to help the boys, and you could see today with that performance that he's always ready to go. Yeah,
he really was, wasn't he? What about the week that you've got ahead? You've got Barcelona at home, then you've got Arsenal. Let's talk about Barcelona first, because that is going to be a glamour tie, and that's going to be a very different test to the one that you had today.
Yeah, we're all excited. All our focus is on Barcelona now. We tried to get this game out of the way, and we managed to do so. So now our focus goes into recovery and looking at Barcelona.
Brilliant. Well, great to talk to you. Thank you so much for joining us, Tosin.
Thank you.
After a busy and tiring afternoon for you. Jolie and I are going to talk about you a bit more now.
Oh, good.
We are.
Yeah.
In a good light.
Keep smiling.
Have a good week.
Nice work.
Thank you.
Congratulations, guys. How much of a relief was it to see that second goal go in at the end and know you were going home with all 3 points from Burnley today?
Oh, it was a relief. It's always difficult winning 1-0 away. This difficult ground. We had the attitude. We keep the clean sheet, so we are really happy with the win.
Diving header from you. You don't see many of those nowadays, Pedro, but how good was the ball from your teammate Gittins?
To be honest, it was a little bit funny because yesterday in training I had a cross and the header was really bad and the guys were joking with me. So today I could score it the head with a beautiful cross, and I'm happy to help the team.
Andre, what a performance from you today. How good did it feel out there in that midfield?
So I'm so happy to play 90 minutes and help my teammates, but I think the most important is the victory, and we're so happy to enter and get 3 points.
How good was he today?
Unbelievable. The fight that he had in the middle of the pitch, the quality that he had to secure second balls, to take the ball away from the pressure. We need these kind of things when we are in a game that is a lot of battles to calm down the game. So I am really happy for him. He's working a lot, and we hope he continues to help the team like he's doing.
You've had to be really patient with your Chelsea career. This is now your 3rd Premier League start of the season. How much confidence can a performance like this one today give you going forward?
So I think my teammates helped me a lot. I think it's easy for me to play with him, with the other players too. So I'm so happy to win this game.
How important important was it to get this victory today ahead of a big week, 2 massive games at Stamford Bridge to come against Barcelona and Arsenal?
It's always good. It's always good to come back from international break when we are away for a little bit of time, but now we will spend more time together. So it's really good, and we are looking forward to the games because it is the type of games we want to play. This one is a different one with battles. Like I said, it was difficult to come here to play in this kind of ground, but we are looking forward already for the next game.
As you say, a great performance from your teammate Andre there today. He's the player of the match. I'll let you do the honours. Well done, guys.
Thank you so much.
To second in the Premier League, Jolien, it was not their most scintillating best, but it was an important win for Chelsea, wasn't it, this one?
Yeah, definitely. And it didn't need to be. It needed to be efficient and productive and just to get the job done, and they did that today. 2 very, very good goals for different reasons, but listen, they know how important this week is. They know the stature of the games and where this can lead them, and today was so important that mentally they prepared and focused on this and understood what it was going to take to beat Burnley at home. It's cold, it was early start after people travelling around the world internationally. So, yeah, this was a very important win today.
Yeah, it really was. They've got a great record actually after an international break and in these 12:30 kickoffs as well. They've now won their last 8 of those. So the international break didn't matter, even with the players who'd been travelling. Let's take a look at the goals. You say they were, very good goals for very different reasons. This first one, Pedro Neto in the first half, just towards the end actually, just a really well-worked team goal. Marc Cucurella with a lot of hard work in this one.
Yeah, definitely. The timing of all elements of this goal. I think we spoke about this half-time, and Tosin played a few of them balls throughout the half, but this one was matched by the run of Cucurella, the control, and Gittins, who, as I said, had a different game for various reasons, playing against a tough Kyle Walker, but the execution, and Neto said then after the game that he had a similar chance in training and missed it, and the players were laughing, and that would have allowed him to then have an extra bit of concentration on that finish, because that isn't easy to do.
Yeah, it's not easy to do, and actually after the international break and after the travels that they've all had, I believe we can hear from Joe Cole, can we, up in the gantry? Is he up there? Oh, we can't. We're gonna hear from him later on. But let's look at the second goal while we wait. This was Enzo Fernandez, and he actually wasn't away during the break. He had a bit of time to rest. He's played a lot of minutes this season, but he's one of those captains, he's one of those leaders, I should say, who leads from the front. And when they need him, he pops up with the end product as well.
Yeah, definitely. We showed again a variety of clips from Enzo before the game, but this here, Gula, I think he takes Axel Nzeibi by surprise by the little burst of speed and then the composure to just cut it back and recognise that.
And then it's all about, he gets into this position here and he's like, right, I'm just going to take you down here and use my strength and power and ability there. He goes inside, and by the way, the composure for a young striker, he could have just towed it there, he could have gone across the back, but he doesn't. He picks his man out, like all good midfielders, running into that penalty spot, and it is absolute silver service. Enzo Fernandez, what's it like at the Ritz? Straight bang goal. And I think Marc Guéhi deserves a lot of credit for that, because he showed maturity, decision making, timing, pace, everything in that clip. And as Chelsea fans should be very excited. A very good young striker we've got.
Oh, definitely. I totally agree, Joe. I think he offered a different element to the game than Liam. I think he came on, he stretched it, he ran, but that last bit when you spoke about him facing up the defender and running past him, he took me by surprise. So Axel Nzeibi didn't recognise that he slowed him down, and as soon as he recognised he was on his back foot, he then pushed it forward, and then it's too late, and showed great strength to get past him. But then once he got past the defender, he settled down, and that's the key to any striker in making an end decision, is just settle down when the last action's needed.
Yeah, do you know what, Jolien? The first time he touched the ball was when he knocked it past him.
Yeah.
So he had the wherewithal to not take that extra touch, and then if he takes the touch, Nzeibi can get to him and keep his back to go. He allows it to come across. So the first time he's touching it, he's breezing past him. So it was brilliant, it was.
Yeah, it was good.
Really intelligent play, wasn't it? But I tell you, someone else who really stood out today, got the Player of the Match award, and when he was handed it from Pedro Neto, you just saw that little smile on his face. It meant so much to him. Andre Santos, Joe, you loved watching him from up there, and when you're starting in place of Moises Caicedo, there's big pressure on your shoulders to actually perform. He put in a great performance today.
He was outstanding. I think Fletch said it in the commentary. I said it wasn't much on the ball. He was very tidy, he was very efficient, but off the ball, like we questioned, didn't we? We said, how would Chelsea react without Caicedo today, because of the things that he can do and blocking runs and breaking down play. But he was absolutely outstanding. Every time there was a bit of danger, he sniffed it out. And, you know, sometimes I think players have a natural ability with this. And he seems to be one of them players. And I think, listen, now Chelsea have got Enzo, Lavia, Casado, and Santos as well. Is there a collection of four midfielders better in the league? Central midfielders in that sort of type of players that they are? I don't think there is.
I don't think there is, Joe, and I totally agree. I think the level of quality that they all have, and his understanding today was exceptional. Not only did he win it back, but in all the clips you've seen, he keeps in possession, and that is so important to not just make a tackle, make a block, and then the ball is at risk again. It's 50-50. He was keeping possession, and to have that level of understanding, that comes down with a lot more experience for someone so young.
The hardest thing for him, I guess, is that he probably won't get as much game time as he would want, because Moises Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez both, you know, have struck up this incredible partnership in central midfield. So for someone like him, like many players at Chelsea, actually, it's just a case of biding his time.
Yeah, I mean, listen, and that's not changed at Chelsea. You know, we've seen players who've come in, and some have bided their time and got into teams, and some, you know, most famously your De Bruyne's and your Salahs have sort of, no, I need to go and start my career elsewhere, because they have stockpiled players traditionally, Chelsea, over the years, and it's a big squad. So how many games is he going to play? What's his minutes? You know, Chelsea got designs on going deep into all competitions. I think he'll play enough to satisfy him now, but for me, he looks like a starter. And, you know, there's a lot of players at Chelsea, and now all of a sudden Cole Palmer coming back is a problem now, because Pedro looks more comfortable in the 10. Obviously, Cole Palmer's got to play. You know, there's a lot of options, and it's looking rosy, like 3 points behind the Arsenal going into the game next week. You know, Chelsea could be sneaking back into the title contention.
But we spoke about how important this game was, so this isn't like an easy fixture to come into. So that level of performance will give the manager so much confidence and faith in how he can start now. It doesn't have to be an international break for me to rotate. It can just be any game, because if you can come to Burnley when we focused on the importance of winning today, and he's come in there and stood out.
Yeah, he has. Joe, thank you very much for joining us from up there. We're still going to use you, by the way. You're still working. You haven't finished
yet. Get your steps in, Joe. Get yourself down here, lad.
I was ready to go home.
You're coming back down here for extra time. We'll see. Yeah, bring your book along with you. We'll give it another plug.
Yes, lovely.
And we'll speak to you in a bit. Just really quickly, we haven't got long here on TNT Sports 1, but Jolien, just a quick word on Burnley. I think it's probably a lesson in something that Scott Parker pointed out after that West Ham defeat, that it's concentration in key moments and taking your chances.
Yeah, taking your chances is going to be so important for Burnley to stay in the league, and Scott will know that better than anyone. But I think it's just another levels that he's taken. Like, if you look at the West Ham game, they outperformed West Ham for large periods of that, but wasn't able to get a result. And soon, and probably now, Scott's looking at and thinking, well, we just need to get results whatever way we can, whether it's set pieces or being ugly to beat. It doesn't need to be glamorous. It just needs to find a way to get results.
Right then, Blues faithful, let's talk about what just happened at Turf Moor, because this wasn't your typical Saturday afternoon stroll in the park, was it? Chelsea have just done the business away at Burnley, grinding out a proper 2-0 victory that's got everyone talking about title credentials again. And honestly, the manner of this win might just be more important than the scoreline itself. Enzo Maresca was absolutely buzzing after the final whistle, and you can understand why. The Italian gaffer didn't hold back when describing this result, saying he really likes this kind of win because it shows character. Think about it, 12:30 kickoff, just back from the international break, players scattered across the globe returning knackered, and then you've got to go to Burnley away on a cold November morning. That's the sort of fixture that can absolutely derail your momentum if you're not mentally switched on. But Chelsea? They passed the test with flying colors, and that's got to have Maresca grinning from ear to ear. Now, before we dive deeper into the tactics and the performances, if you're enjoying this breakdown and want to stay on top of every Chelsea development, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're bringing you the most in-depth Chelsea analysis you'll find anywhere. And trust me, with what's coming up this week, you won't want to miss a single video. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of how Chelsea carved out this victory. Pedro Neto opened the scoring with an absolute peach of a header just before halftime. Now, here's the thing about this goal. It wasn't some scrappy tap-in or a deflected effort. This was quality football, pure and simple. Marc Cucurella showing lovely control, Jamie Gittins whipping in a gorgeous cross to the far post, and Neto arriving with perfect timing to plant a diving header into the corner. The sort of goal that gets you off your seat, and crucially, the sort of goal that settles nerves in what was a fairly cagey first half. Maresca was quick to praise the team's defensive resilience as well, pointing out that whilst Burnley had some bright moments early on, Chelsea never really looked like conceding. To come here and not concede is very difficult, he admitted, acknowledging the challenge of playing at Turf Moor. The pitch, the atmosphere, the physicality, it's all designed to make life uncomfortable for the big boys, but Chelsea kept their composure. 3 clean sheets in a row now, and that defensive solidity is becoming a real trademark of this Maresca side. The second goal, laid on in the 88th minute, was the cherry on top. Enzo Fernandez, who's been absolutely instrumental this season, wrapped things up with a clinical finish after brilliant work from Marc Guiu. And can we talk about Guiu for a second? The young striker came on and showed exactly why Chelsea fans should be excited about him. He's got that directness, that burst of pace, and most importantly, he's got the decision-making to match. Instead of being selfish and going for goal himself, he squared it for Fernandez, who couldn't miss. That's maturity beyond his years, and it's a sign of the depth Chelsea are building under Maresca. But here's where it gets really interesting. The man-of-the-match performance from Andre Santos. With Moises Caicedo left on the bench after his long international travels, Santos stepped in and absolutely bossed the midfield. Maresca couldn't stop praising him, emphasizing how important it is to have players who are ready when called upon. Santos wasn't just tidy on the ball. He was everywhere off it, winning second balls, breaking up play, and generally making life miserable for Burnley's midfielders. When you've got the quality of Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, Romeo Lavia, and now Santos all competing for places, that's the kind of squad depth that wins titles. Speaking of titles, let's address the elephant in the room. Chelsea are now sitting in second place in the Premier League, just 3 points behind Arsenal. 3 points. After all the noise at the start of the season, after people questioning whether this young squad could handle the pressure, here they are, right in the thick of the title race. Arsenal still have to play Tottenham in the North London Derby, but regardless of that result, Chelsea have done their job. They've shown they can win when it's not pretty. They've shown they can grind out results in difficult circumstances, and that's what separates contenders from pretenders. The really fascinating bit was Trevoh Chalobah's post-match comments. When asked about title ambitions, he didn't shy away from it. "We've come into this season with a lot of confidence," he said, pointing to that Club World Cup triumph where they beat PSG. That victory seems to have genuinely shifted something in this squad's mentality. They're not just happy to be competing, they believe they should be competing at the highest level. And, you know what? Based on what we're seeing, it's hard to argue with them. Maresca's planned substitution of Reece James at halftime raised a few eyebrows. But the manager was quick to clarify that it was always the plan to give the captain 45 minutes. Managing James's fitness is going to be crucial for Chelsea's season, and seeing that big smile on his face as he walked back to the bench, completely fine, was a massive relief for everyone connected with the club. The last thing Chelsea need right now is another James injury saga. Looking ahead, the schedule gets absolutely mental for Chelsea. Barcelona at Stamford Bridge on Tuesday in the Champions League, followed by Arsenal at home next Sunday. 2 massive games in the space of 5 days, and suddenly this Burnley victory looks even more significant. Chelsea have momentum, they've got confidence, and they've got a manager who seems to know exactly which buttons to press. Maresca mentioned how vital it was to maintain the momentum from before the international break, and his side have done exactly that. The contrast in Chelsea's performances this season compared to where they were under previous managers is night and day. There's a clarity now, a sense of purpose and identity. Players know their roles, they're executing the game plan, and most importantly, they're doing it consistently. Gone are the days of Jekyll and Hyde performances where you never quite knew which Chelsea would turn up. Under Maresca, there's a reliability that's been sorely missing. What's particularly encouraging is how different players are stepping up in different games. Against Liverpool, it was one set of heroes. Against Wolves before the break, it was another. Today, at Burnley, Santos and Neto were the standout performers. That's the sign of a squad that's genuinely all pulling in the same direction, where egos are checked at the door and everyone's committed to the collective cause. The stats back up what we're seeing with our eyes, too. 8 wins in their last 10 matches across all competitions, 3 consecutive Premier League victories, 3 consecutive clean sheets. These aren't just good numbers, they're title-winning numbers. And whilst Maresca is right to keep expectations measured publicly, he's repeatedly said next season is when the real pressure comes on, privately. You've got to think he's starting to believe this could be their year. Chelsea's depth is genuinely scary when you think about it. Cole Palmer's injured at the moment, yet João Pedro has slotted into that number 10 role and looked quality. Caicedo was rested today, Santos came in and won man of the match. This isn't a squad that's going to fall apart the moment they get a couple of injuries or suspensions. They've got options, they've got quality, and crucially, they've got players who are hungry and desperate to prove themselves. The manner of today's victory shouldn't be understated either. This wasn't Chelsea turning up and playing Burnley off the park with champagne football. This was gritty, this was determined, this was professional. They did what needed to be done, secured the 3 points, and got out of Lancashire with a clean sheet. Those are the kind of results that, come May, you look back on as absolutely pivotal to a successful season. So where does this leave us? Chelsea are genuinely in the title race. Whether Maresca wants to publicly admit it or not, Arsenal and Manchester City will rightly be favourites based on their recent history, but if Chelsea can navigate this massive week ahead, Barcelona and Arsenal at Stamford Bridge, and come out with positive results, then suddenly the conversation changes completely. The bridge is going to be absolutely rocking for both those games, and this young Chelsea squad seems to thrive in that atmosphere. One thing's for certain, Chelsea fans have got every reason to be optimistic right now. The football's good, the results are coming, and there's a genuine belief running through this team that they can compete with anyone. Maresca's done a phenomenal job in his first season at the club, building something sustainable whilst also delivering results in the here and now. It's a balancing act that many managers struggle with, but the Italian seems to have cracked it. Right. That's where we'll leave it for today. Make sure you're subscribed because we'll be breaking down that Barcelona game on Tuesday, and trust me, that's going to be an absolute cracker. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Chelsea are genuine title contenders, or is it still too early to say? Let's get the discussion going. Blues.